My name is Gordon Cooper, and I'm with Visa. I'm based in Singapore, and I look after mobile innovation, in particular for Asia Pacific, as well as Africa, Central Europe, and the Middle East.
Can you explain us a little bit about what kind of innovations are you testing in those markets?
We have a dedicated global initiative actually that's focused specifically on mobile devices. So Visa may have started our first 50 years, first 40 years primarily focused on plastic cards. But today we are an electronic payments network, and we're in the business of moving money securely and efficiently from point A to point B. And we recognize that there's a wonderful opportunity for consumers and for businesses and for others to use mobile phones. There are now more than 4 billion of these devices out there. To use mobile phones as a way to move those funds between consumers and businesses, and even between two different consumers. So we have a global initiative that's dedicated to enabling all of our Visa services to actually work on mobile phones. And there's particular interest in that in Asia, Africa, and many of those other regions I mentioned, because the number of mobile phones, in fact, outstrips the number of bank accounts and the number of plastic cards.
And you mentioned that it's this migration from plastic to mobile phones, and do you have a scenario of this transitional process from plastic to mobile phones?
I think it'll differ actually from market to market. So for instance, in many of the more sophisticated electronic payments markets where you already have a lot of bank accounts and you already have a high penetration of plastic cards, probably the mobile phone will be complementary to plastic cards. You'll use your mobile phone to be able to just buy a coffee or pick up a sandwich by tapping your phone on a reader. Quicker and easier than cash, quicker and easier even than using a traditional plastic card. But when we look to emerging markets, it could actually be quite a different dynamic. I used to live in Vietnam. I opened our office for Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. And in a market like Vietnam, we really imagine that, in fact, many consumers may get their first Visa account on a mobile phone, and maybe someday won't even have a plastic card at all, because the mobile phone could be the most logical way for them to access their money electronically. And also, in terms of where you could use your electronic payment service, your Visa account, many retailers maybe can't afford to invest in a fancy point-of-sale terminal that sits on the desktop inside their shop. But if their mobile phone could become a point-of-sale terminal, could mimic the functionality of a standard point-of-sale terminal, we could do a normal Visa transaction between two phones instead of between a card and a terminal. So we see a sort of a technology leapfrog opportunity in those emerging markets.
So this is Nokia have developed a survey, a research, saying that it's the three things that the people are carrying across culture and race and continents is keys, wallets, and mobile phones. So when you are predicting that the people will be just carrying mobile phones?
I don't know if people will ever just carry mobile phones, but I think what we do know is, you think back to a few years ago, there was this expression that the mobile phone is the third screen in the consumer's life, right? You've got your PC in the office, you have your television at home, and then you have this third screen that you carry around in your hand. Well, I think in many emerging markets, first of all, it's the only screen. It is the single most important consumer electronic device, perhaps the single most important device full stop that a consumer has. And even for consumers who have multiple screens in their lives, there's no question that the mobile device is the most important screen. And so for us, we're in the business of making payments easy, convenient, and secure. For 30 or 40 years, that was primarily through a plastic card, but if a mobile device is the most convenient way for a consumer to access his or her money and for a retailer to transact, then it's our job to provide them that convenience, and that's what we're doing with this global mobile initiative.
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.